Get out of my mind, novice. There is a war to be won.
Hey StarCraft lovers, how you doing today? Welcome to another video by me. Always by me. Who else? That's right, who else? But yeah, I'm gonna be able to keep get another video up this week, and so I'm gonna do this video, and I've been very persistent with this video. By the way, this is probably about the 20th time I've cast this video. I had a I didn't like my other ones, but I finally did it. Right? I did a cast and I did it really well, and I was like, yeah, that was good. I cast that video well. You know, I like it. I'm gonna post it on YouTube. It's gonna be great. And the audio was messed up. If you look at the other video with this same strategy, I use this video to reinforce another strategy. It's the my Banshee versus Protoss strategy, my Cloak Banshee versus Protoss strategy. If you look at the other video, the audio is the quality is kind of bad because my microphone has this, my computer has this audio boost setting, but it by default it puts it on maximum at like 100%, and so when that audio boost is on 100%, like it feels like I'm screaming in your ears when I cast my video, and it's so irritating, and the audio quality is just horrible, you know, and so I have to turn that off. But like I turn it off and then I start a new video, and the computer automatically turns it back on. And that's what happened in my last video. It turned the audio boost on, and I did the cast, I did it well, and the audio boost was on, and the horrible audio, and I was like, why? You know why? I just feel like sometimes the universe hates me. You know, but I will not give up. I will cast this video. This is like the 5th time I've cast this, but I will cast it, and it will be cast well, and it will be done well, and y'all will love it. Okay? Okay. So, on to my cast. The reason I chose this video is because it, like I said before, it supplements my other video where I do my Protoss versus or my Banshee versus Protoss, Cloak Banshee, and I'm going to use this video to introduce my Rage Quit section, because I mean we've all played those games. We all played that opponent where, like, you know, you do some new strat or some unexpected strat, and like he's just like, he gets enraged, or you do a comeback. That's what I love. Like when like they start to talk trash because they're beating you, and you end up coming back and beating them, and they're so mad. Those are my favorite. Those are my favorite. Because they get so mad. It's like, what? You got nothing to say now? And then they start cussing and stuff, and then it's like, okay, now you lost your mind. But when people rage quit, it doesn't really bother me. Because, I mean, they can't get the ladder points back. No matter how mad they get. They're not getting those ladder points back. And you won. And, I just think of it as, not only did I beat them in the game, but I beat them in life. So I beat them in 2 ways, you know, because I was able to keep my cool, and they weren't. So, and like, even when if I get an argument with someone and they lose their mind like that, it's like I win, you know, because you're not able to keep control of yourself. So when you beat them, when they rage quit, it's like, yeah, I beat you in the game and in life. Thank you for giving me a double victory. If only Blizzard would award ladder points for that. Like, a bonus ladder points for getting some of the rage quit, because you get a double victory. That would be sweet. I'd have so many of those bonus points. Just from people rage quitting. And what I'm doing here is I'm trying to do a Cloak Banshee rush, but I totally messed it up because I'm supply blocked and all kinds of problems. You know, I try to get it out by 5:30, and I don't. I get it out by 6:30 because I also have a Cloak Banshee strat video, and in that video I talk about how you want to start building your Banshee at 5:30, so it's out by 6:30. That's the optimal timing. I don't get this one built until, you know, 6:30. So horrible. But I try to expand right after that, trying to get back into it. But yeah, back to Rage Quitters, because I'm not done yet talking about these guys. If you have videos where someone rage quits, you can send it to me, and I'll cast it. But if you're arguing with the person, I won't cast it. I want to cast videos where, like, you're being a little mature, and he's just it's proof that he's out of control. Because like you're being straightforward and simple, and he's like just losing his mind. And so we cast a video and embarrassed them, because that's what they get for rage quitting. They get embarrassed. Because you know, you gotta have some kind of self-control. You know, I mean, maybe there's just a lot of 10-year-olds who play this game. I don't know. I'm sorry that I've had you guys staring at these probes, but they're so fascinating. The little purple laser beams cutting all those minerals away. It's just exciting. But really nothing much is going on. You know, I'm getting my Banshee out, and yeah, snipe his little hidden probe, sucker. You thought you'd hide him from me? No, you couldn't. But anyways, so now since I'm late with my my Banshee rush, in quotation marks, I will say that, I'm going to have to send my Banshee around, and this really is just going to be a scouting Banshee. I'm going to scout, you know, his army, see where he's expanded or not, and this is where I get scouting information. I don't have to waste a scan. I can send my scans for my mules, get more money, dinero, because that's what you want, mucho dinero, because that's what this strategy is all about, is money, 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 because you keep sniping your opponent's expansions and keep the economic edge over your opponent. And so yeah, so anyways, back to my rage quitters. I'm still not done talking about these guys, because this is my rage quit video, and I'm gonna use this video to introduce my rage quit section. And we all love the rage quitters, because I mean they kind of add that spice to the game, you know. It's just like, it's fun to see like the things they say, and you're just like, really? Did you just actually say that? Just because you're offended that you lost? I actually had I've had players tell me that I should quit, even though I'm literally destroying everything they own, all their structures. They tell me I should quit because they played better than me, and it's like, how does that work? You know, please explain that to me. How you managed to conclude that your better gameplay lost you the game, because I'm not. Because last time I checked, superior gameplay usually leads to a victory. So I mean, I would really like to know how, you know, bad gameplay can lead to a victory. Because I'm not sure how it works. Because if I figured that out, then I'd be winning all these games. You know, I just play horrible. So yeah, but they're like, well, no, I played better than you, so you should quit. And it's like, no, I'm not going to. You know, I don't care if you think I should. I'm gonna take the ladder points. I'm gonna take your ladder points, my friend, because you lost and I won, and that's just how it happens. That's how the cookie crumbles. You know, I don't feel bad about it. You know, people are like, oh, you can't use cheese, and it's like, you know, they talk bad about cheese and stuff, and it's like, well, you know, look at players like MVP or Nesty, and how many games do they lose to cheese? Not many. Because they're good players, and if you're a good player, you're not going to lose to cheese, because you're going to be able to, you're going to see it coming, and you're going to counter it. And the problem with players who cheese a lot, like half the time, that's all they know is the cheese. And so once you learn how to counter their cheese, it's like you walk over them, and there's nothing to do. And so yeah, nothing wrong with cheese as long as you pull it off right. And if you do pull it off right, usually you're able to pull it off because you're a better player than your opponent. You're just instead of going into this long, drawn-out game, you're just going to end it fast. You know, but either way, you're likely going to beat the guy, because you're better than him. Not always. Sometimes cheese can give you advantage over an opponent that you're not better than. I mean, I will say that much, but usually if your opponent is better and they know you're going to cheese, it's not going to work. Like, you literally have to catch your opponent off guard and do massive damage. So really, that's why, like, if you're good enough, cheese is going to be an issue. And really, when you get to the higher leagues, cheese doesn't. You don't see it as much. You know, you see it a whole lot more in the silver and gold, because those players are desperate. You know, they're desperate for wins, and so they're going to cheese a whole lot more. But the higher, more skilled players, like, they're not gonna risk the game on a cheesy move. You know, they're gonna play more solid gameplay. And so, anyways, so let's get into this video. And so yeah, basically, what I did here, as you saw, I sniped that expansion, and I'm delaying him now. I'm delaying him as much as possible, and this is where it starts. You know, you want to keep your opponent on the back foot. You want to keep him delayed as possible. You don't want him to be able to expand and to get an economic advantage over you. If he gets the economic advantage over you, or gets a massive stalker army or anything like that, like, it's kind of tough. Gets kind of tough. You want to keep your opponent. You want to keep ahead of your opponent as much as possible for this strategy to work. But since you're building so many Banshees, investing so much in Banshees, it gives you that ability to do so. And if you can maintain the edge over your opponent, especially economically, you're likely going to win. And as you see, I part from the norm here with this beautiful Planetary Fortress. I love these things. They're awesome. Oh yeah, watch, I can... Anyways. But the reason I built a Planetary Fortress there is because I'm going to be building Banshees. As you can see, I have tons of minerals as it is. And since I'm going to be building Banshees, I'm going to need Vespene more than I'm going to need minerals. You know, people usually will build a orbital command there so they could drop mules and start collecting money and try to keep their mineral up, because usually, you know, Marines are going to, or Terran are going to be building a lot of Marines, and Marines cost a lot of minerals. So you're going to need you're constantly dropping mules and trying to keep up with the minerals, you know, the mineral consumption. And yep, here I go, expanding, trying to keep ahead of it economically. If you're building Banshees, likely you're going to have a surplus of minerals. Even if you only have one Planetary Fortress, you're likely going to have a surplus of minerals. So it would be much more beneficial to build a Planetary Fortress there. And also, it is essential for the strategy to work. Because as you'll see later on, the strategy is, if your opponent moves out, you want to delay him. It's about delaying him and preventing your opponent from easily sniping your expansions. You have, with your Banshees, you have the option to snipe his expansions at will, just about. If you do this right, you'll have the option to snipe his expansions at will, which is what gives you the power in the strategy. But you don't want your opponent to be able to have that ability. You don't want to give your opponent that option. So every time you expand, Planetary Fortress. And yeah, they can snipe them, but they usually have to commit like their whole army to sniping it. And it's a huge commitment, and it comes at great cost to them, and it delays them. While their army is wasting its time trying to take out your Planetary Fortresses, bam, you're counterattacking. And you'll see here in a minute how I employ that as soon as I get there. And so, let me tell you about the composition here. I mean, I'm already getting out my Ravens, which is good. And you also want to have your armories, of course, to upgrade your attack and your armor upgrades for your air units. You definitely want that attack upgrade. You know, you get that attack upgrade, you're going to snipe his expansions that much faster, which is what you want. And, oh, here he comes. Basically, what he does here is failed harassment. Because, I mean, I only have, like, 3 mineral patches left over here. And, alright, he kills my SCVs. I got plenty of command centers. I'll build them back. So, I mean, I still have more SCVs. No, I don't. He has 2 more than me. But I got enough command centers. I'll build those SCVs back up quick enough. And, so it's like no big loss there. And he lost 3 High Templars and a Warp Prism, which definitely was not worth it, you know, for the handful of SCVs he killed, who weren't even mining. They were mining only off of like 2 or 3 mineral patches. He basically cleared some supply up for me there. He's helping me out. But yeah, so now here I am. His army is not even anywhere near this expansion, so I'm able to just come in and snipe this. And he should not have. That backstep, I mean, basically cost him that expansion. He needed to engage a lot faster. So yeah, I took massive damage there, but now I'm ahead economically. And the money I will mine in the time it takes him to rebuild this base is going to be worth the units I lost to snipe that expansion. Long sentence there. And so yeah, so basically that's how the game is going to go. And so my army composition here, well, I had my Ravens. I have another Raven here, but what you want is you want Ravens, Vikings, and Banshees. And Ravens, because likely he's going to build Stalkers, because that's what they usually do. And if they don't build Stalkers, then he's gonna have trouble taking out your Banshees if he's not building Stalkers. But likely he'll build Stalkers. So basically, you want Ravens with point defense drones. Get your upgrade here, your Core Vid Reactor upgrade, to increase the starting energy of Ravens by 25. So you're gonna have more point defense drones when you do that. And so your Stalkers, they're gonna he'll usually have more Stalkers than you. And so he's going to want to engage your Banshees with those Stalkers, but you're going to want to throw down those point defense drones, scan with your orbital command centers, snipe his observers, and then just start to destroy as many Stalkers as he can before he runs away. Because he'll likely run away, because he won't be able to attack your Banshees anymore. And thus he has High Templars, which is a good counter to this strategy. Because High Templars can use their... oh, here we go. As I was saying, High Templars can use their Psionic Storm and use their feedback to drain your Banshee's energy, and that will basically, Banshees lose all their energy, so they can't cloak anymore. And then after their energy is gone, well, basically, the Stalkers can kill them. And so basically undermines the whole strategy there. And then they can storm them, and Banshees like to clump up, so when they storm them, they're going to kill like all of them. But yeah, so there we go. Planetary Fortress. He committed his own army to destroy that one Planetary Fortress. Quick! Ah, they were pairing each other, trying to keep each other alive. Failed. But while he was doing that, I come in, I destroy all of his... point defense drones are down. I destroy all of his Stargates, and now I'm trying to work on his pylons and his production facilities. Basically, trying to put him at as much disadvantage as possible. And the only thing I really attack right now is Void Rays, because the Stalkers can't shoot because it's point defense drones. Love them, gotta love them. But yeah, so that's basically what this strategy is based on. Wait till he counterattacks, attack him, and if he's not attacking, hit him where his army isn't. Scout the location of his army and hit his expansions. And if he's guarding his expansions, hit his main. Destroy his tech structures. Send him back to the Stone Age. Keep him on tilt. Keep him in his disadvantage as much as possible. And yeah, and it's just basically about wearing down and whittling your opponent. Wearing out and whittling down your opponent. And that's what it comes down to. And so, pretty much I've covered all the essentials of this strategy, and so yeah, you'll see. And if he attacks, and he attacks your he'll likely want to attack your expansions because you're destroying his expansions, and he'll likely want to attack your expansions to try and compensate for his lost economy. He's gonna punish you by taking away your economy. But if you got your planetary fortresses, like I said, planetary fortresses all over the place. You want those things up like daisies. You're going to delay his army, and while he's committing his army to destroy your planetary fortresses, hit his expansions. Take him out. And there are weaknesses to this strategy, as any other strategy. High Templars, namely. But he doesn't build enough. He builds a few. He builds a handful, but he focuses mostly on Stalkers. And I eventually sniped. I should have sniped it earlier when I harassed, but I eventually sniped his Templar Archives. And BAM! Destroyed his Nexus again, right? You don't give him a chance to expand. You don't, I mean, as soon as you scout that expansion, snipe it, especially if his army is displaced. And now I'm moving on again. And he wants to chase me. I don't know why he isn't. But he can't really chase me up this hill. Point defense drone. Let's go. Where is it? Why is it not putting down that point defense drone? It's a little green thing. Whatever. Weird. Anyways, point defense drone would have been lovely there. The thing was, he was on here, stuck down this hill. I just flew up. I sniped that expansion, flew up, sniped this one. For him, it takes me about 4 seconds to get there. For him to get there, he has to walk all the way around on this great journey around that hill to get up there. So yeah, you gotta abuse the terrain and take advantage of it, and you want to know when your opponent expands, and to know that, you gotta build Reapers, as I am here. And basically what you do is you send your Reaper out to the expansions, and here you could basically patrol the whole map with 2 Reapers. And you just basically put them on patrol. You hit the patrol key and you hold shift and then click on all of them, and your Reaper will patrol through all those bases forever until it's killed. And if it's killed, then you know, okay, I can probably reasonably suspect my opponent's going to expand there because he killed my Reaper. And if he doesn't kill a Reaper, your Reaper will discover the expansion when he puts it up. And he'll start attacking it, and if you're lucky, destroy it, but that's not likely going to happen. Only if your opponent really is committed to, you know, counterattacking you or something, and like is all-in you. But yeah, so yeah, he assumed I had expanded there again, and he went to go destroy it, but he assumed poorly, and so his whole army basically was way over here, which gave me an opening to come and just start leveling his tech structures again. And finally, my point defense drones go down like they're supposed to. So basically, 2 of them. So basically, that cannon is obsolete. Sniped. It's gone. It's unpowered anyway. And so yeah, here he is trying to warp in some more stalkers, and you know that's cool. His army, you know, I'm vulnerable to him, but I snipe his observers with my Vikings, and now I land them. Right, and that's why I have so many Vikings, because I need them to snipe observers. And then, oh, point defense drones, love them. Oh, the High Templar's coming to ruin the day. But once those observers are sniped, and he doesn't have any more air units, you can still use your Viking. You can land them, and they can still fight. You know, so it's not a complete waste. And you want your Viking number strong, because if he builds Phoenixes without you knowing it and kind of catches you off guard, even if he has more Phoenixes than you do Vikings, you can use your Vikings, send them to delay the Phoenixes while your Banshees escape, because Banshees take so much longer to build, and they cost more, and they take so much longer to build. So you don't want to lose all your Banshees if you can avoid it, because it takes forever to replenish them, and you want to build like at least 7 or 8 starports, which I think I said earlier. You know, at least 7 or 8, so you can keep up with your Stalker or your Banshee production. To compete with his Stalker production, and at a minimum 7 or 8. And so now he counterattacks me. And you want 1 or 2 starports with reactors to basically build your Vikings. 1 is enough for now, because Vikings build way less time than Banshees do. And so yeah, 1 or 2 will keep up. And if he's going air, like Phoenixes or anything like that, you're going to want at least the minimum of 2. So you keep the Viking production up, so you can compete with those Vikings. Because, yeah, Banshees can't attack Vikings. And so you want Viking escort. And if he's not building Phoenixes, then you still have your Vikings there to snipe the observers. So yeah, here I go again. Snipe that expansion. Oh, you can't follow me because I fly and you don't. I come over here. Oh, look. Hey, how about that? It's unprotected. He doesn't even... Oh, he was killing... Oh, wait. What was I doing there? I guess I had... Oh, I think it's a bad rally point, actually. But yeah, he tries to warp in some stalkers. Definitely don't come in time. And had he tried to walk his army up there, they wouldn't have made it in time either. So yeah, basically another free sniped expansion. And yeah, and that's where this strategy comes to play. And had I not been sniping his expansions this whole time and taking out his tech structures, he would have won a long time ago. But that's what you gotta do. It's the weakness of this strategy is obviously you have a weaker army, but the strength of it is that your army is more mobile, more flexible, and you do massive damage with those Banshees. Massive damage. It's actually great. Backlash rockets, 2 attacks, 13 damage each. What? And so here we go. He decides to counterattack, trying to destroy my my tech. You know, and it's like, yeah, sure, whatever. Snipe his observers. And I got 2 orbital command centers here in my main, and I make sure I always have at least 2. So I always have a scan available when I need it, especially in that critical moment. Because if you only have 1, and you like dropped a mule or something, and then you try and scan, and you have like 20 energy, and you're just like, you have to wait 30 seconds, and by that time the battle's over. It's so horrible. You watch all your Banshees die, and it's sad. It makes me want to cry. But so you want to be able to have a scan available at that critical moment when you need it. So he can scan, snipe those observers. He's forced to retreat. Nothing he can do. And so yeah, that's the advantage of strategies. Basically, snipe is detection, and your Banshees can just destroy whatever they want. And so now he's remote mining, and he set up this expansion. I didn't even realize this. You know, I'd let, you know, again, Reapers. Keep those Reapers out, man. You gotta keep them out. But I let up on my Reaper production, and so that's why I didn't know about that expansion over there at the 9 o'clock position. And I really thought he had done doing that. I mean, he just built these bases, dude. Just got him up. He had him up for like 5 seconds. Banshees come, destroy him. And so, yeah, I mean, it's understandable why this guy rage quits. That's why this guy doesn't bother me so much. The rage quitters that really bother me are the ones who try and continue to spam and message you after. And they're trying to get over there, but they can't. Too slow. Sorry. But are the ones who like spam you after the game is over and like you're in another game. So now he's starting to get irritated, and you're like in another game. But that's how I know I'm winning, cause yeah. And I'm like, oh, I imagine he's losing. But you're in another game, you start getting all these spam messages, and like the game's over, and they still text you. It's like, dude, the game ended. Get over it, man. Get on with your life. Stop messaging me. You know, it's like, that's when it gets frustrating. Other than that, you know, rage quitters don't bother me. But yeah, so now he decides, counterattack again. Not even gonna work. Too many SCVs. I love those planetary fortresses. I mean, basically you're abusing your planetary fortresses to make this strategy work. So now that I know he's attacking me, I come and start taking out his production facilities. He's remote mining, so he's not going to be able to easily rebuild these pylons or these production facilities. Well, I think he's remote mining, as far as I know, but he's gone. So, anyways, but either way, I mean, the game is mostly over by now. Because he's mining off 1. I still got 2. 2.5 I'm mining off 1. Alright, woohoo! Oh, there goes that Viking. That Viking had been sitting there the whole game. Like literally just been sitting there. The player didn't even notice. And so I figured this is it. So I try and engage and destroy his army, because I don't realize he's still mining. So I'm like, alright, well, if I kill his army, I could basically just finish him. So I try to fight him, but he keeps warping in more stalkers. I'm like, Banshees run out of cloak, and he has this cannon he hides behind him, blah blah blah. It's so frustrating. I wish Banshees didn't run out of cloak, then they'd just be so powerful, especially with the strategy. But yeah, I mean, he can't really. I mean, he can kill my Vikings, but he has no observers with him right now, and so he can't see the Banshees. And I kill almost all the stalkers, and then he goes and hides behind the cannon. And so then I'm like, oh, I gotta go back. There's too many stalkers now because they warped in more. And I'm like, fine, I'll destroy your building there. And now he can't warp in. He can't build any more stalkers because he doesn't have his cybernetic score. No, sorry, no stalkers. And then I leave because my Banshees are all out of cloak now. And then as soon as I discover this expansion, I destroy it, and that's pretty much in the story there. He's trying again. This is like the 4th time he's rebuilt this. Definition of sanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. He can build it, and I'll destroy it. And I don't know why he expects me to act otherwise. So yeah, now I discovered it because I tried to build an expansion there, and my SCV went up there and was like, oh, he already has a base there. And this is really his last mining base. I mean, he got another, 25 seconds till that finishes. And so basically, I just focused down this expansion. We should have built an observer, at least one, but whatever, it's gone. And he has no mining bases now. Go blankety blank blank. Yada yada yada. Use your imagination. And I have the mature filter on. I usually keep it off, but for these videos I'll keep it on to keep it as G-rated as possible. And or PG rated maybe. Too much violence for G. all this death. But yeah, so rage quit. Oh gosh, so tired. I've done this video so many times. But hey, till next time, yeah, play as much StarCraft as you can, people. It's a fun game. But remember to do your homework, kids, because you gotta go to school and you gotta be smart. And you gotta get good grades if you want good things to happen. So yeah, um, till I see you guys again.